Yo, what's up guys, it's Nehru. Today I have a great video for you guys, and I actually have kind of a story, and before I actually get into the story, I wanted to explain why there's no face cam, but I'm not explaining it in this video because it's actually kind of a funny story, so that's going to be in my next video as well. So pretty much it broke. I'm not really going to get into much detail with it because I'll save that for a different video, but yeah. Oh, and I actually like legit fixed my computer now so I can record gameplays and stuff, but alright, let me get into the story. So, a lot of you probably don't know this, but I actually transferred schools in like the middle of the year, and I was still kind of going through that like about a month, and I'm still going through that like awkward phase of like meeting new people and like making new friends and all that stuff, and it was just awkward, you know. I didn't really have that much of a friends, but I'm very social, and then, you know, of course everybody loves me because, you know, who doesn't love Nehru? So I have this friend, like, on my first day there, I met a guy named Michael and Dominic, and they were like my best friends for like the first couple, well, not first, they're still really cool people, like we're still really close and stuff, but they're like my like closest friends in that whole school. And at the beginning of the year, I met all my teachers and stuff, and I had this teacher, my math teacher, his name was Mr. Young. And he was actually really laid back. Like he didn't care what we did at all. Like legit, we could, as long as we did our homework and stuff, he didn't care what we did. Like he would be giving us a lecture and we would just be talking the whole time and he would not care at all. Like he was like one of the coolest teachers ever. But sadly, he actually transferred to a new school, Fort Meade, which is probably somewhere in Maryland. I have no idea where that is. Don't go blow it up. I shouldn't have said the name of the school. Now I'm probably gonna get arrested if the school just how happens to blow up in like the middle of the year. But back on the story. So he transfers and we get this long-term substitute, and her name is Ms.Avery. And she was my substitute for history for like, I think it was like a couple days, but that's beyond the purpose. She was my math teacher, so she's my math teacher now. She's like my long-term sub for the rest of the year. So on her first day as being my new math teacher, she gave us a whole bunch of rules, and like the most important thing, like she gave us a heading. If you did not have this heading on your paper was garbage to her. Like it was complete trash. Like she did not care. So after she gave us like all the rules and all the headings and stuff, she decided that she wanted to give us homework, I guess, to test out if we knew what we knew, or the heading that we had to do, or something like that. I have no idea why she wanted to give us homework, but still. So she gave us the assignments, and my friend Excellent, his name is okay, we get the point. So he turns in the homework, but there's like a piece of it like ripped off, like half of the paper is ripped. And he tries to turn it in, and he looks at her, and she looks at him, and it's like this awkward stare for a couple of minutes, and then she says, "Alright, this is what you're turning in. You're gonna give me this work." And then he says, "Yeah, like this is what I was doing last night." And then she takes his paper, and she says, "Never ever give me paper like this again. If you do, I will throw it in the trash immediately. Like, I don't want a ripped piece of paper." And the whole class was like, okay, so we're not gonna turn in bad papers. I mean, that was like the first time that actually ever happened, like that he turned in a ripped piece of paper. So that actually happened, and so she assigned us homework again. And this time, we had to do, I think, about half of the problems in our textbook. It was like 21 to 36, so it wasn't that many problems. And she decided that when she wants this paper, she wants the most perfect sheet of paper that she can possibly get. So I go home, I do all my homework, because I normally do my math last, because that's normally the hardest. So I do all my homework, and I realize I have no more sheets of paper left. So I look at my science homework, and I realize, oh, I have a half left. So I rip the paper in half, and it's like one of the most perfect halves you will ever see in your life. Like, this was the world's best rip. Like, if Guinness was at my house, they probably would have taken a picture of it and said the world's straightest rip, and I would have been in the world records, Guinness World Records 2015. Like that, it was the most perfect rip you would have ever seen in your life. So I get to school the next day, and she actually decides to like go through and see what people are missing, and I actually was missing a classwork, so she told me to do the classwork in class, and that's what I decided to do. So when she came around to check the homework, I was doing my classwork, And she gets to me and she says, home. And I look up at her and she says, do you have it? I was like, yeah. So I went in my book bag, I grabbed my homework, and then she looks at my paper, and then she looks at me, and then she looks back at my paper, and then she looks at me again. And then she grabs my paper, she goes to the front of the class and says, this is a perfect example of perfect homework. And those words made me feel so good about myself. Like, I destroyed that homework. Like, it was destroyed in a good way. Like when you say you just got raped, like you didn't literally rape them, but you destroyed them in a good way. So I destroyed that homework, and I'm feeling super proud of myself. And then when everybody's looking at her, they all look at me, and then they look back at her, and she just crumples the paper up. Like legit rips the paper, crumples the paper, and then she walks towards me and shoots it in the trash can. She takes my paper and then shoots it in the trash can after she compliments it in a sarcastic way, I'm guessing, but she just, that tore me apart. It felt like she grabbed my soul, ripped it, and then just shoots it inside of a trash. And then everybody just starts laughing, and then she says, why would you turn that into me? I was like, what do you mean? She said that's garbage. I was like, it took me 10 minutes to do that homework. Like, that's probably the longest that I've ever done to do math homework. Like, it took me 10 minutes, and she just destroys it. That's like 10 minutes of my life gone. So, she says, would you give that to Barack Obama? That half sheet of paper. She said, would you give that to the president? And I was like, yeah, that was a great piece of half-ripped paper. Like, that was beautiful. And then she's like, no, that's terrible. I have higher standards than that and all that stuff. I was like, what does a piece of paper have to do with your standards? I mean, I didn't say that to her because that would have been rude and I probably would have got kicked out of class, but yeah. So she takes the paper and she shoots it in the trash, and then I'm just in awe. Like, she had the audacity to take my paper and destroy it in front of the entire class. So for the rest of the class, I was actually just sitting there all depressed. And then towards the end of the class, I walked up to her and I was like, is that a 0 in the grade book, since she destroyed it? And she says to me, yes, unless you turn it in tomorrow on a full sheet of paper with the proper heading. And then I looked at her and she said, yes, I ripped your paper up because it was on a half sheet of paper. We're just gonna have to take a minute to pause right there because that sheet, okay, just take a minute to pause. So after she did that, I went home, did the paper on a full sheet of paper. Well, I didn't do it on a full sheet of paper because I didn't have any paper. So I went to school the next day and I did it in the morning because I got the paper from my friend, and then I did it and turned it in, and I got an A on the assignment. So, moral of the story is, okay, I'm not gonna say that joke again, but moral of the story is, always have a full sheet of paper. But that's all I really have for this video, guys. If you guys really enjoyed this story, then be sure to leave a like. I might do more stories in the future, but as of right now, I'm kind of focused on Call of Duty and getting clips and videos out for you guys. But I'm gonna start doing more contact stuff, like more face-to-face, even though you can't see my face because I broke my face cam. But yeah, more stuff like this. But that's all I have for you guys today, and yeah, peace.